Someday I want to learn how to take my eyes and point them like this so I can look at you and the screen at the same time.
Best of luck with that.
Best of luck. If you can go in with it, you should be able to go out.
Maybe. I don't feel like you can train your eyes to do that now. It's too old.
Is it happening?
It's definitely not happening.
I feel like it's happening.
So what's going on right now, Robert?
Oh, hey, by the way, did you happen to know that this is Tuesday and we run a show that's called Topless Toy Talk at 7 p.m. Central Time on Tuesdays? Were you aware of this?
I was slightly aware of this.
Well, since you're aware, I guess there's no need to talk about it anymore.
Okay. And who are you?
Malachi Frostborn.
He is your host, and I am your better host, and we are happy that you're here tonight.
Welcome. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate you.
I appreciate you bearing with, I don't know, whatever happens here at the beginning of the show. The first like 5 minutes is always just a struggle because I'm just like, what is happening?
I know it's possible.
Yeah, it's kind of like, oh man, I just want to talk about our video that you're going to post here with the Splendia Studios, but I'm going to reel myself in. Rob has a lot of things that he believes to be true that are not.
Anything is true if you want it to be true. It's up to other people to disprove it.
Fair. All right.
I could say,
like, you believe that you have magical powers sometimes, though. In all fairness, sometimes you do have magical powers. Like, you never wait in line.
Okay,
like, he's always somehow he can like read this and he misses the line. He's like always like in the beginning, and then as soon as he gets in line, like 100 people are in line behind him. You do have that magic power.
Let's go back to this real quick because I do question: do I have telepathy? Right? I think about this at least 3 to 5 times a day, and things happen. I'm just like, did I know that? Was this a coincidence, or did I sense it and I brought it in?
Or did you manifest that into the universe?
Yeah.
Man, we are really going wild here. Speaking of wild people, we have Stormfire Blizzard.
Crackle, crackle, crackle.
So this is 2 nights that Stormfire Blizzard has watched one of our lives. So.
And we've been graced with the presence of Stormfire Blizzard.
Yes, thank you. And Fanboy Prime.
This is his jam.
I'm glad you like jam. Yeah. Jam is superior to jelly, though. It really is.
It is, except for the jam that has seeds in it. That's just weird.
That is like literally the definition of jam. Jelly doesn't have the seeds and the fruit in it.
Well, I'm okay with the fruit, but just strain out the seeds.
Okay.
Just squish it through something and throw those away. I want to crunch on seeds. Those could grow in my stomach, and then I could just start having berries grow in my stomach.
That's not how it works. You don't understand how caustic stomach acid is. And then we have Austin Allen Hamblin. Now, Austin, here's the thing. Before the show, I came up with a great acronym for you, and I'm sure you've never heard of it before. But AAH. So I'm just gonna start calling you at least for the rest of the stream. So sorry in advance.
Sometimes you're funny and sometimes you're not.
I think I'm funny on this one.
I guess that's really all that matters.
It is.
Excited for this one. Oh,
nice.
You should be excited for everyone, but I'm glad that you're excited for at least this one. And also the infamous Webby. Thanks for being here. Yes. Hope you're doing well. This is 2 nights in a row for you as well, Rebby.
Yeah.
Being graced with all kinds of wonderful people. Austin has had 6 slices of bread. What white wheat, raisin, rye?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Webby. Doing the
Lord's work here.
Heroes work. Did you switch sides? Okay. So I'll make a quick comment on this. Is what I realized. Actually, can you read things up here? Or is it backwards? I don't know if you can even really see it because it's kind of blocked.
We're sitting on the same side, but we keep...
So the camera was flipped, but then StreamYard flipped the camera, and then I realized it was like a double flip thing, so I unflipped one, and I'm not... Because I'm like, you can't read. Everything was backwards, and so I don't...
Fanboy noticed as well. We've somehow switched sides, so I don't know what's going on.
We're technically still on the same side.
I have not changed chairs. This is still the same chair.
It's just digitally flipped. But I don't know if it's flipped the right way or the wrong way. I don't know if things are legible or not. Here, can you read this? Is this backwards or forwards?
I mean, I would hope that it's forwards. We have the 10-second delay here, so we can't. double check on our
Oh,
own.
I know. We'll find out in 10 seconds.
Yes. I am glad everybody's noticing and having a difficult time with us switching sides. Please tell me that you have OCDs without telling me you have OCDs.
We're in the same
Good
outfit.
point. Yes, you
we
caught
do
us.
have the same outfit on. That is correct. That is correct. Let's see. Watermelons. Wait, watermelons. Yeah. See, Austin.
Oh, they
knows
cannot
what's
grow
up.
in your stomach. That's
Yeah.
just things that your grandparents and parents told you as a child.
Acronym, brand new.
Ah.
Oh, buns. Buns aren't bread. I didn't ask how many buns you had. I said how many breads.
We did have 2 leftover
Can't read.
hot dog buns. Oh, you can't read. That's too bad. We had 2 leftover hot dog buns, so I did make peanut butter and jelly sandwiches out of the last 2 hot dog buns.
So first of all, that was my creation, and you copied me. So don't even act like it was original idea.
I did. It was an original idea, but I did it, and I felt good that we didn't waste any food.
I'm going home.
We are home. So let's bring on tonight's guest.
You think we should?
We should. So tonight's guest is someone that we met at Des Moines Con who had a very interesting booth with lots of blood splatters around it. I'm not really a horror fan. I'm not really introducing this person well here, but bear with me. I'm not really a horror fan. I'm not really a sci-fi fan. So like a lot of authors at cons will be like, hey, are you into sci-fi? And I'm always just like, no, not really. And I'm definitely not into horror. But
he's a multi-genre.
But I feel like he undersold his book, because I did read the graphic novel The Fierce Are Fading, and this is phenomenal. This is like, I never would have picked this book up. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I look forward to reading more. So we need to workshop how you pitch these books to people, because I never would have bought your book, and I feel like I would have been super disappointed having not read it.
Do you maybe want you like, hey, can we bring on the guest? And
yeah, so we can bring on the guest
behind their back.
Yeah,
like,
so Joshua D. Howell.
What's up?
I bet you never had an intro like that.
I know, that was fantastic. That was great. Thanks so much.
They're like, I have no interest in your stuff. In fact, I think it generally kind of sucks. But then I just pick this up on a whim.
Terribly, yeah. Appreciate the critical feedback. Yeah.
So
to be fair, that book is like 12 years old, and like, when that was the only book I had, I sold the crap out of it. I don't know what the language is for this podcast, but
you're an adult. You can say whatever you want.
Well, I sold the shit out of that book, and then I had the next book, and then I focused more on that, and now I'm 5 books down the line. But I hear you. I appreciate the feedback. Yes.
So this one here likes to read things with like real facts in it, like dictionaries and encyclopedias.
Like I am reading the graphic novel of 1984. I just finished that up.
Because she's today. Like, I read the original with words in it, and I haven't read the one with pictures.
And the one with pictures was fantastic as well, just as good. But before we go too far down the pathway, who are you? Let's let you do an introduction. Tell the folks as much or as little as you want to. Mother's maiden name, grade school, last four, your social pin. Just the really essential stuff.
Yeah.
Sure.
I like credit card numbers personally.
I am Josh Howell, born and raised in Council Bluffs, Iowa. I'm an Air Force veteran, and I've been writing since, I don't know, 1st, 2nd grade. I was the young kid who took like the timer off the stove and put like 15 minutes on it, and challenged all my friends to write the best short story, and most of them didn't care to do that, but that was like my thing. I was a nerd from that early age. My 2nd grade teacher told me she was gonna buy my first book, and she did. And I've been writing, poetry and short stories and novels ever since. It's just always been a passion of mine. And since I got out of the military, my 9 to 5 has always been some type of nonprofit work that serves veterans and military. And so that pays the bills. And on the weekends, I go to Comic-Cons and book fairs and sell my books. So, yeah.
It's fantastic.
I mean, I'll be honest, that sounds like a dream life. It's like you have something to pay the bills, and you just run around and do what you want. Like, I don't know.
Sure.
Someday I'm like,
someday we'll figure it out.
Someday I want to have something to sell it.
Yeah, we just have nothing to sell. Though we are workshopping some things. So
I try to sell my body on the internet, but nobody wants it. So
isn't that what this show's all about?
Yeah, I'm like, and we're still not monetized by YouTube. So that's why we can say whatever we want.
Exactly. So I do want to apologize. No, your book. I don't know if you maybe want to talk about your latest book that you have out. It's a very interesting concept, and now that I understand like sort of your writing style, I will definitely be checking it out.
Yeah. So, like you said, I'm multi-genre. One of my favorite authors of all time was Richard Matheson. A lot of people know him as the author of I Am Legend. And you know, greats like Stephen King called him like the godfather of horror and stuff like that. And so he's known as this horror writer, but he's also known for writing dramas and romance and time travel and all these other genres of books. You know, he wrote Somewhere in Time. He wrote What Dreams May Come, and a lot of other stuff outside of horror. And so that always kind of inspired me when I was young to not just stick to one genre. So yeah, that first book you have is the adaptation of my first book in a sci-fi trilogy. Then I wrote a fantasy novel, and the newest novel is a horror novel about a serial killer, and it's very bloody. Blood is kind of the main thing about it. So yes, I have as much bloody tablecloths and things all over the place. If you buy it, you get like a bloody bookmark and any other things I have on hand. So yes, I'm definitely putting more work into the new book for sure, but yes. Mm-hmm.
Very cool.
Actually, what I really liked about your presentation at the convention, so, you know, we kind of did these little interviews that we ran around with, is there are several actually that I have now spotted you in as you were like walking in between things.
Oh, I never noticed
yeah,
that.
like, so I'm just like, oh, hey, look, there you go. Like, it's like, this is the third time, like in 3 different people. It's very funny.
I can't stand still. Yeah, I'm like, I like selling the book, but I also like getting up and walking around and talking to people. And, you know, it's the same way with work. I do a lot of marketing events, you know, and tabling for work, and I can't just stand behind that table. I have to go like talk to people. So yeah.
I'd be the same way. I just have to acknowledge.
Yeah,
acknowledge Stormfire real quick. Okay, so what I found out the other day was like Instagram has done some like weird filters on their messages or something, because I know I had like an unread message from Stormfire here, and then it disappeared, and then it came back, and then it disappeared, and so then I went in to respond, but I couldn't find it, and so I don't know exactly what the deal was, but I found it again today after last night. So I am not ignoring your message. But
also, if he does ignore your message, you can always just message me, Stormfire, and I'll get on him about it.
But in the process of this, I also found like 8 other messages that like had somehow done the same thing, and I don't know. So I refreshed a bunch and cleared my cache and uninstalled the app and reinstalled it, and that's when everything came back.
But
up, so.
we will play this. We will do it next Tuesday. Promise.
Yeah. So if you want to send it to us, we will definitely get it up for you.
Yeah.
And then Allison, I don't know what this is. I have no idea what that emoji is. Is that a sandal?
No idea.
I don't know.
No
anyway.
Idea. Could you bring up the questions?
I will
please?
do no such thing.
I don't have access to the mouse here, so this is
the.
I would love to.
Get your own.
Since this is Topless Toy Talk, we should ask at least one toy related question, which is most people, I think the mass majority had toys as growing up. So unless you're really poor, and then we can hear like a really sad like trauma story about how you were too poor for toys and all you had were like sticks and stones. But assuming you had like a semi-normal childhood, what toys did you have growing up, and do you still have any of them today?
I was a huge Batman toy kid. I mean, when my brother was born, my younger brother, and like my parents were at the hospital for like a couple days, and I was at the grandparents, in order to like keep me distracted and keep me from freaking out, they just bought me a bunch of Batman toys. And I love Batman. I think I had like a yellow like underwater Batman, and then all the gizmos and gadgets that came with it. And I mean, that didn't change. Like when I got older, I bought the Eagle Moss Batman chess set, and I still have some Batman stuff somewhere. I need to unpack. I just moved, but I have some stuff. I love Batman. So, yep. Mm-hmm. So if I was rich, I'd have a lot more Batman.
I love that. So do you have any, like, you just moved here, so we can go back to your previous residence. Like, do you have any sort of like action figures? Do you have a Batman on your desk? Do you have any sort of like other toys, things that, you know, you play with when you're creating and working?
I don't have action figures, but you know what? The one thing I've been consistently collecting, because I'm a movie buff as well. And so when they get those cool movie buckets, as long as it's not something stupid like $74 or something, some of those Fantastic Four ones were just, I can't spend $80 on a popcorn bucket, but I've got like all the Spider-Man heads and some other, like I've got the Batman cowl from, the recent Batman movie, and those just kind of line my bookshelves with my graphic novels and my novels and good little spacers in between. And so, I like those a lot. Those are fun. I never put popcorn in them, but they're like cool for the shelf.
Yeah. What do you have a favorite that you've got?
Oh yeah, the Batman cowl is like awesome. It looks, well, that one is tied with aliens, because I got one bucket that has like the face hugger climbing around it that looks all bony and gross, and then I've got like the xenomorph head. So I've got some of the deluxe like Dark Horse alien graphic novels from back in the day, and so those sit up on the bookshelf, and then the xenomorph kind of peeks out from between them. It's kind of cool. So yeah,
that is really cool. We have a couple of the buckets, but not anything cool like that. For some reason, I keep wanting to go to, actually what happened was I really wanted the Dune bucket because of the chaos around that, and I could never find one. So I was like, that's it, it's done.
I just sold one of those. I had a bunch of like the tin buckets and everything, because my dream was to have like a movie theater in the basement or whatever and have a bunch of buckets, but then I never really used those buckets. So I took those to a lot of Comic-Cons, and I just had one in St. Joe, Missouri, and I took the Dune bucket, and it was unopened, and somebody bought it for $300, and I'm like, all right, take it, So it was some like teenager. He's like, this is the thing from the SNL skit. And yeah.
I always find it wild how just something just without ill intent just turns into the most ludicrous thing. I don't know. Like,
that's how it works. So we started talking about this a little bit before we started here, but I do want to circle back to this. Is like you go to a lot of conventions, selling your books, selling your stuff here. Like, what are some of the some of the things that you've noticed here about conventions, whether that be pricing, whether that be like things that have been changing here over time, like any nuggets here that you want to share with folks, or things you just want to rant about?
Yeah. Oh, I could rant. I could for sure. I've been going to Comic-Con since, early 2000s. When I got out of the military, I went just as a fan, and I love cons. I was going to C2E2 a lot up in there in Chicago. That's a good show. As a fan, you just kind of, depending on how big the show is, the price can be astronomical or not. As a vendor, it kind of varies the same whether or not they have their shit together and they do a lot of scholarships and sponsorships and stuff and whatnot, or they just kind of pay for the event on the backs of the vendors. And so that can be kind of expensive. And obviously you never want to go to a show where a family can't get in without spending all their money at the door and admission. So, there's shows that I've done once and it's like, nope, not going to do it again. And shows that I've done for 10 plus years. So, one of the big ones, last year was my 10th year at New York Comic-Con. And, unfortunately, it's my last year. They cut the indie press section in half, and a lot of us didn't get asked back. There's a couple people that I regularly see at Planet Comic-Con that didn't get invited back. So I'm glad I made it 10 years. But a show like that in New York, that was getting expensive to travel to anyway. So, but shows like Planet Comic-Con continue to be amazing after 20 plus years, and pricing reflects the crowd that comes, and now that I've moved down to Kansas City, there's a lot of smaller shows here in Kansas that are put on by very competent people that I've enjoyed experiencing and can't wait to go back next year. And yeah, there's a lot of stuff in the Midwest. I just try to experience as many as I can without burning myself out, and also works with my work schedule as well. So
yeah. Also, no coast is the best coast. I stand by it.
I like it. I gotta switch to my headphones real quick, just to let you know, because I love how my speakers are dying like 10 minutes into this. So
yeah, no problem.
That's what I'm going to be doing for a second.
Yeah, okay. No worries.
Just while he's doing that, you had looked up, because I didn't know where what this Planet Comic-Con where it was, and actually it's just in Kansas City, so that's not too far away.
Yeah, I think that's the one Sydney went. She mentioned one time. But
we should check that out sometime.
Yeah, like this is, I think, the first year. So we've kind of always went to the Des Moines Con, and I've been to a couple other like not really big ones, and so we added a few to the roster this year. Like we're gonna go to BotCon that's this upcoming weekend, which is more of a Transformers related one. And then in the fall, we're going to go to Legions Con, which is more toy action figure related in New Jersey.
Which is in New Jersey. It's in a hotel I stayed at for work, which just still cracks me up. I'm like, I've been there before.
I know. So, but yeah, no, I think next year, like we should try to do more like of these smaller, maybe not smaller, but like more around us, right? That we can go to just because I think
to travel.
It would be fun.
Well, that's just, I feel for anyone that's trying to put on a con because, especially if they're trying to compete with the greats. First of all, if you're a smaller con, you don't want to put it on the same weekend as something big that somebody can drive to,
right.
And that's hard because there's a Comic-Con like almost every weekend nowadays. And then, you got to try to balance out what you're offering. Every table can't be a 3D printer table. Every table can't be a pop figures table, and then if you're chasing celebrities, you don't want to put all of your money in celebrities and then not have anything else, and so it's a difficult thing. If people think it's easy just because you love it. I love Comic-Cons. I don't think that I could realistically put on a Comic-Con as a side gig. That would have to be literally like my main focus to make it right. So props to anybody that attempts it. It's not easy. And I have learned that some of them I can't do again just because they weren't very well done. But props to I think it's Nerd Street that puts out Des Moines Con.
Mm-hmm.
That has been a consistently decent show. I went to a previous show in Des Moines that they put out signs along the street the day of. That's about it. They tried to get on like a morning radio show that day to let people know, but nothing else. So everybody showed up that had a table and like nobody else did. So that was disappointing.
QuadCon by chance?
No.
Okay.
QuadCon, they do a lot of shows. I've done some of them. They're pretty, they're all out there. They get around a lot, but no, that wasn't QuadCon. That was somebody else.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I don't even remember it. It was based out of Des Moines. And it was in the same spot. It was in the basement of that Iowa Event Center. But
I was trying to think of what other ones have been here because I know like Wizard World put on one like once.
Yeah.
But there was something that filled the gap between that and when Des Moines Con started. I just can't remember what it was.
Yeah.
We don't have to go down that the memory hole on that.
No, let's just all sit and ponder those for
for a second. So you had talked a little bit. Can I get you a swirl here?
I'm going.
Thank you. So something I was curious about, like there's like within the action figure community, like G.I. Joe, and there are similar franchises that kind of like hyper stylize the military. And I was wondering if like there was a specific like action figure line or sci-fi or comic book property that you think really gets the military culture, camaraderie, bureaucracy, craziness like particularly well, or is it just kind of like a little weird? Like
I can't think of any property exactly. I mean, I know a lot of people like G.I. Joe back in the day. The military's strange and it's always evolving, and most of the guys that go in are Well, if there's all types of people that went in. I went in the early 2000s. I signed up after 9/11 my junior year, and went in a week after graduating high school. And so, I went in with. In my case, I knew my parents couldn't afford college, and I knew I wasn't ready for college, and I wanted to do something, and so I went into the military. And there was a lot of guys that did it for not just guys and gals that did it for that same reason. There were some people that went into they just told me, they're like, I want to legally kill people, and I'm like, oh,
Right.
that's great.
We've all met that person or
Yeah.
people. Yes.
Yeah, but I was enlisted, and a lot of us enlisted, especially if you're younger enlisted, you work with the same people, you live in the dorms with the same people, you go out and party with the same people, and there's a bunch of nerds in the military. And what I love now is that I'm starting to see a lot of military bases do Comic-Cons on base. So like I just did a con at McConnell Con in right outside of Wichita, Kansas. And it was great. And it was just for the people on base, their families, and the service members. And I wish we had that back in the day, but we had Xbox and PSP and Halo. Oh my God, Halo came out when I was in the military, and that was like all the rage. So Halo was definitely a thing. It wasn't obviously mirroring the military experience, but we all kind of really got around that game, and obviously things like, Modern Warfare back in the day and stuff like that. So, I can't really think of toys, but games for sure. Like, Modern Warfare and Halo were big when I was in.
Cool. I think that's actually pretty cool. They're putting on conventions like a military base. I never would have thought about that.
Yeah, that would never have occurred to me.
That's very interesting. I know.
Yeah. Well, bases, whether it's a base in the States or away, I mean, part of the thing is just making sure morale is up, and especially bases that are overseas. So all of my, I did my training in the US, and then I did a year in Korea and 3 years in Europe. And, that's great that you're there. I mean, obviously, if you save up your money and you have some type of form of transportation, you can go out and travel. But for the most part, unless you walk into the military rich, most guys don't have a lot of money, so they have to save it up, which means they have to spend their time on base and eat the base food and do something on base. So if you're lucky, you have a theater that gets movies about a month late from the mainland. That's usually how it is on military bases. They kind of get the rights to the movies a few weeks after they release. But otherwise, you're kind of sitting in your room. So there's a lot of bases that have people designated to try to find or try to coordinate family events and different things. And that could be sports events or gaming events, or in this case, like Comic-Cons and stuff. So I love to see them do that stuff. It's important.
That's awesome.
I think what I think is interesting is like how you're talking about there's like a lot more nerds that are in the military now than like, I don't know, like just with general like media portrayal and everything. I don't know, that's not what you would generally expect. And I kind of find that's funny how what you see in like movies and whatnot a lot of times is like very macho people, right? But in IRL it's just like people sitting around reading comics, playing on video games. Like
you said it. You I think that's what's majorly changed. I'm jealous of some of the generations growing up now, because when I was growing up in school, you could be a nerd or you could be a jock. It was hard to be both, Right. And when I went into the military, I saw a lot of, I played soccer all my life. We went to state and high school. I felt like I was a band nerd and a soccer guy. And, I thought that I did both of those worlds well. But you get a lot of jocks that get into the military, and then they're around other people, and you find things that you bond over, and a lot of people bond over their fandoms and their nerddoms, and I love that. I remember when I was in, it was before Don't Ask, Don't Tell got repealed, and I was going to college in the military, and I did a paper on what's stopping gays from being open in the military, and I interviewed a lot of younger people in the military and a lot of older leadership. And it was shocking how many older leadership guys were like, man, if we start letting gays be open in the military, they're going to want pink camo uniforms and all this stuff, and they're gonna want to paint their nails and everything, and I'm like, I mean, just because there's a part of a personality doesn't mean they can't wear a uniform like everybody else, and so that's just part of it. You can be a nerd, and you can be in the military, and you can be tough and focused when you need to be, and you can be a fan of anime when you want to be, and yeah, you can have different sides to yourself, and I love it.
I mean, I'm a big fan of pink camo myself, so like I would be the one that would be advocating for that. I'd be like, I know it doesn't blend in very well, but look how stylish it is.
Right.
JMJ, thanks for joining us.
Yes. Oh, Fanboy said the army used to set up at cons and had their own. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that. They probably still do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Navy, every other year at Planet Comic-Con, they'll bring in a big old trailer with like full-on multi-monitor gaming rig set up. And I'm always like, that's cool, but I'm like, nobody can join the Navy and do that for it's not like you can be recruited to be the gamer in the military, but they're going join the Navy. This is what it's like,
It's not Ender's Game, like you're
right.
not...
Yes, I love Ender's Game. That was my favorite book in 7th grade. I love that. I love that book. Thank you, Agent Z-Man. Appreciate that.
It is 1:30 in the morning.
Yeah,
for
I know. This man never
the agent
sleeps.
that never sleeps. Yeah. I still okay. So I know we were talking about this the other day, and I know this is still like a dumb conspiracy theory, but like,
oh god, what are we going?
What game was it that I was was I playing a game or something, and you were just like, I'm still not convinced that like they don't use these.
Oh yeah.
So like, what was that?
I don't know if it was you playing it, it was a specific game, but yeah, so what I said to you was like, I'm just not convinced that like the government isn't in on like the gaming industry to try and like do it as some sort of like programming tool so that people can eventually like learn the systems or like.
Oh, it was a flight simulator game
That's
that popped
what it
up.
was. Yeah.
So I'm like, like you sit at home, you learn how to fly a plane on your Xbox. Can you then just go fly a plane in real life? I don't
like,
know.
are there certain transferable skills there that would be more appealing? Yeah. Which, I mean, again, is not that different than Ender's Game, right? Like it was.
Right. It's not far-fetched. It's just like The Last Starfighter with the arcade game, or what was that? I think it was called Mercury something with Bruce Willis, where the little kid like solved the puzzle, and that was the government trying to find coders in America. And I assume the government does that kind of stuff all the time. Yeah.
Do you have a particularly favorite conspiracy theory that you're into?
I don't believe it, but I get a lot of laughs out of the birds aren't real conspiracies. Those are so fun. Like people are into that. I dig it. I grew up on stuff like X-Files, so I can go down rabbit holes like that. I love like documentaries that are like, by the end of this, you're gonna believe blah blah blah, and I'm like, let's go. And I'm usually disappointed by the end, but I'm all here for it. Like.
That flat Earth one was disappointing. I really wanted to believe flat Earth, and then when their experiment failed at the end, I was like, "Oh man!"
I know you were rooting for the flat Earthers the whole time. I was like, Sarah, come on! I was like, "There's no way that this is gonna work." You were just in it. You're like, "No, they have to like."
And they just couldn't. They couldn't get across the finish
You were always
line
in for the underdog. Like, ridiculous.
Oh,
actually, what would have been really funny is if the experiment would have been true, and then all of us are just like, no, those dumb flat earthers, and then it's just like, oh my god, the Earth is flat. Like,
keep your mind open,
like it's just like a pancake. Me go in space, like it flips just so quickly, and it always looks round. Like,
what was yours? Like you were talking about, you believed the Earth was flat, but you also believe that people like lived under the surface of the earth, and so
So it's like a stuffed pancake.
like a
Just like you got 2 pancakes with like some frosting or something in the
Stupid.
middle.
Yes.
so dumb.
Wait, birds are okay. I actually do also really like the birds aren't real
Yeah,
thing.
that's a good one.
It's
I'm
fun.
all in on that. Just
It's fun.
also because I just really hate birds. But so it'd be better if they were really drones, and I could just take magnets to them and call it good. Like
Yes.
but no, people that go all in on that are just it's so funny.
It's fantastic. Do we want to pull out the wheel of questions?
We can do that. I think we're gonna do a couple of quick mentions though here real quick.
Yes.
So first, because I always forget to do this up front, there's a QR code up here in the top right and or left, depending on I guess the orientation of your screen, because I don't know what it is anymore. This goes to Joshua's website, and so you can check him out and buy his fun books and follow him on the social medias and whatnot. And that'll hang out there. So if you're curious, if I scan this, does it take me somewhere cool? The answer is yes.
It should actually. We should start like faux putting one in here though that just like takes you someplace weird, or just like a random picture of us like flipping people off. I feel like we need to put some sort of like
like a trap.
Yeah, we need to put a trap in there. This one is not a trap. But
this one is not a trap.
Or is it?
Yeah. Or if you scan it, will it take all your money and give it to us?
No. It will not.
But they'll take all your money and give it to Josh on books.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
But no, I think do our Patreon thing real quick since we're at that time that we always forget. Ready? 1, 2.
1, 2, go. So we have a Patreon. It is called The Body of Official Bodies.
AKA the boob.
Yes. And if you are so inclined to join the boob, we have a few different tiers. They have some fabulous things. Those things include birthday cards.
Drunk dials.
Drunk dials. Could be on the Christmas card list.
Giveaways.
Yes, giveaways that could include things like expired food from our pantry.
Grave of the Fireflies.
It could include Grave of the Fireflies. It could include actually some legitimate stuff like art that this one has put together, or things that I've crocheted and made. So hard to say. However, the spirit moves us.
It'll definitely be nothing you want, though.
It could come in your mailbox, as well as again drunk dials from us. I think our shortest drunk dial with Fanboy Prime has been 2 hours. So take that for what it's worth.
But anyway, now that you did your pitch, thank you guys for your support. Fanboy Prime Ultimate Body. We appreciate you very, very much. And then our bougie body TF Toy Picks. If you're not familiar with him, he does great Transformers action figure photography. I don't know how he does it. Like, it's always fantastic. And every time I take a picture of a Transformer, I'm like, this sucks, because like I'm just like, his stuff is so good. But check him out if you're not familiar with him. And then the Corrupt Modification coming in as our extra basic body,
which I'm super excited to see you in real life here in a couple days.
Yep.
So,
and he also creates some music, which he's graciously lets us use one of his songs as the opening song for our show while you guys wait for us to get our shit together.
I love that song. I was grooving to that song.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, he has his stuff up on YouTube, and I think
tell us where it is.
Everywhere. Yeah, I mean, it's all up on all the things, and so
nice.
He has a few albums, and he's that song's I think from the new one that he's working on. So and then of course Dave Wonder, which is like the connection of all connections. Like,
yes, everything is like 3 degrees of Dave Wonder. Like, if you don't know Dave Wonder, you definitely know somebody who knows Dave Wonder. So thank you, Dave. Check out his channel. He streams. He's like the hardest working dude.
Almost
I know.
Every day of the week.
Yeah, he's all the time.
Yep. Does cool art, does cool stuff, raises a lot of money for charity.
He's at all the cons in the Midwest.
For all the So thank you everybody.
Yes, thank you. So this is my favorite part, is the wheel. We implemented this, I don't know, many months ago.
You talked about doing this up front.
Yeah, we did, and then we got sidetracked as normal on different questions. But however the wheel spins and lands, that's kind of where we go here.
War games. I think he was talking about the government doing.
Yeah,
that was an excellent example of that in that movie for sure.
Never look at the what?
Never look at the pilot's aeronautical map.
I'm not sure I understand this one. I'm not well versed enough on any of those things.
No.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah, these seems
This
like
is-
not nearly enough
wait.
questions.
Wait.
Yeah, we
Hold
don't
on.
see it.
You do something else while I fix
Okay.
this. I have to.
So I'll ask a question. What is
Yeah, go ahead.
War Games? Is that a video game? I'm
No,
not.
that's an old Matthew Broderick film where he was like he liked to, he could hack his grades at school. It was like the early ages of like the home computer. And then I can't remember how, but like he started talking to an artificial intelligence that ended up running our nuclear systems. It was a fun, young Matthew Broderick film.
Got it.
Yeah. I think that it was kind of like Ender's Game where like the computer wanted to play Risk, but then if it won, it was going to actually launch nukes or something like that. Yeah, it's crazy.
We should add that to our list. We can watch in the next like 2 to 5 years.
War Games.
Let's go.
I'll add it in.
This is quite the wheel.
Is there a specific moment that you remember, but history says it didn't happen?
I remember the Shaq Shazam movie. Apparently, it doesn't exist, but I'm quite certain it exists. You can't tell me it didn't. I'm pretty sure I watched it. People say that didn't happen. I'm pretty sure it did.
I mean, I swear by it too. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
You
I
can
was
say-
all about NBA players in kids' films for a minute. Like Space Jam was my jam, and Shazam was like right around that time. And I mean, no, wait, it wasn't Shaq. Was it Shaq or was it Sinbad? I don't know. It was
Sinbad.
yeah,
Sinbad.
it was Sinbad and Shazam. And and everybody says that movie doesn't exist. I'm pretty sure it does.
The internet says otherwise. If you go IMDb and stuff, we've just like, I mean, also everybody says birds are real.
Right,
So
right.
what-
That's
We
the
all know that's not
conspiracy.
true.
Yeah. Yeah.
What a-
Mhm.
Where's that going to get you? What is the one that you really like? I can't remember.
I mean, this is all called like the Mandela effect, and most people believe that Nelson Mandela died in prison. He did not die in prison. He got out of
Mhm.
prison. He
Mhm.
I think he became president of South Africa. Yeah, he did. He became president of South Africa. Like he lived a full life, and he definitely did not die in prison. But everybody just thinks that.
You like the origin story?
I do.
Mhm. Mhm.
The colors on this are wild.
Yeah, I don't know
I
why.
know. I love
Yeah.
it.
Auto-generated.
If you woke up tomorrow and the entire internet was gone, what would you do?
Oh God, celebrate. I'd celebrate and I'd be sad because I used to have 5 bookcases of DVDs and Blu-rays, and then like I turned them all to like a digital server that I have. But I guess if I didn't have the internet, I couldn't access it. So I still have a Blu-ray player in like a box over there, but I've got maybe like a box full of Blu-rays. So I guess I'd celebrate the chaos because everybody would be freaking out, but I'd be like, yes, we need a break. We need a break, world. Get out your Blu-ray players and get out that box set of whatever you got and watch it start to finish. I'd love it.
I mean, we actually recently, when I say recently, within the last handful of years, started reacquiring physical media again, which I think is kind of interesting. I don't know where it came from.
Well, I remember where it was. So during the pandemic, we lived in Dubuque, and we lived downtown. So you're from Iowa, so theoretically you should understand what we're talking about here. And there's so downtown Dubuque, Iowa is full of a lot of pawn shops because it's not necessarily like the nicest area, right? And so during the pandemic, there wasn't a lot to do besides walk around and go to the pawn shops. And so we would pick up like Blu-rays at the pawn shops.
They did have really good deals.
They did have really good deals, and so it was like so much cheaper to just go down there and buy stuff at the pawn shops.
It's like $25 for $1.
Well, not that good, but like for a couple bucks we can get them. And so then it just kind of continued to spiral of like picking up like a Blu-ray a week or whatever at the pawn shops, and now it's turned into kind of a situation. So
it is not a situation anymore because we got a new thing to hold them.
I know we did.
And we got plenty of space to grow.
all of us physical media collectors would rejoice. Like I've got a vinyl collection down there that saved for the one like time I host, and we put an album on that normally sit dormant. So I would just, I don't have YouTube music anymore or whatever. I'll go down there and put an album on, and we'll all be like, yes, this is why we collected all those vinyls.
Ready. We got
for
it.
sure.
I mean, we actually started collecting vinyl too, which that kind of just happened with like the concerts we would go to. So we'd pick up, because like I don't know, I'm not like a big T-shirt type of person, and so it's like, well, what do we get? So I always pick up an album from whatever concert we're going to, and it's kind of escalated as well. It's like everything else, like
there's nothing that's,
you can't be like, hey, like here's a collection of something without having me like spiral it out of control.
Well, and to bring this back around to like some of the controversies that are going on right now, have you heard about Sony and how they are not? So like, what are your thoughts there? How do you feel?
I mean, every once in a while, great companies shoot themselves in the face, and I feel like that's an example of it. I don't know it's not like the writing wasn't on the wall with some of the choices they've been doing in the last couple of years. I mean, I don't even know if they currently had any games that you could buy the disc for that didn't have a part of the game that needed to be downloaded already. But I mean, it's not just the game side of it. It's the other stuff. I'm pretty sure it was also Sony that announced hundreds of movie titles that they no longer had the rights for, that if you bought the digital version, you don't have access to that anymore. And gamers that have been gaming for decades know things like, if you didn't buy certain games on the Wii store, there's no way to get those anymore because the Wii store isn't up, and there aren't physical copies of some of those games. So it's just kind of, I know it's the way things go, but it is wild that that's the route they're going. And I don't know that that's going to be profitable for them, let alone some of these companies. I imagine a lot of these companies get a significant amount of their money from collectors who want the the physical editions, because
I still buy I don't buy a lot of video games, but usually when I do, it's a physical one, like, because I mean, it's a thing. I don't know. There's just still something there with like having the case in hand, and I know like for the most part, the disc anymore is actually just like a copyright protection, right? It just reads a code to be like, yep, you actually purchased this and own it, type of thing. And so I don't know. I'm a little indifferent about it, but I feel the reason why a lot of it went digital is because companies have forced it that way. Like both like Sony and Microsoft, put out consoles that were digital only consoles and at a cheaper price, right? So like if you're a parent purchasing like a console for your child, and like you have one that will take a disc and one that will not, and the one that doesn't take the disc is cheaper but performs exactly the same, why do you not buy the cheaper one?
Right.
But the question becomes, though, can you trust them to always have access to that game? Because when the same company literally says the movies that we told you own, you no longer have access to anymore. When that company is saying we're going to go to digital only games in the future, it's like, but can we trust you after the way you handled that last digital thing? And
well, and even from like a broader perspective, and here's where I'll get down my like conspiracy rabbit hole here, is like, we know that there were television shows that we all watched that like they removed whole episodes. Like there are whole episodes because they don't fit within the paradigms and what's socially accepted anymore. And like the same thing with books. And like if you don't physically own the thing and they can just remove and change and like do that sort of stuff, like I could get a Kindle. I could read on Kindles, like whatever. I really like physical books because, you know that you're reading like a book. And I mean, if you're, they can't manipulate it and change the text after the fact.
Yeah. I
mean, they could in a subsequent like release of it, but you're able to kind of get more to that source. And same thing with like movies and TV shows. Like, I know that there are things that are manipulated on there that, that prior versions contained information. Yes, Shazam. I'm trying to think of what one it was. What was the Workaholics? I know Workaholics has a whole episode, at least one episode that was removed. And mean, that was a great show, like that whole TV series. And I can't remember which episode it was that they removed, and it's not, you can't watch it anymore.
But I feel like some of it comes down to like freedom of speech and whatever, right? Because like just because you not everything that is created is politically correct, but does that mean that it shouldn't be created, you know, if it's somebody's artistic expression or whatever, right? Like
well, it's rights issues as well. A lot of TV shows from the 90s that had big needle drop moments, you know, when they go to streaming, the same rights aren't based on streaming. So like I own the Alias box set, and I remember the Peter Gabriel song and the funeral of the first episode, and that rocked me as a kid. But if I try to watch that episode on Disney Plus, it's a different song because they don't have the rights to that song for streaming. And so, yeah, it's this, you know, the streaming and digital isn't always the same because they can cut out whatever they have to, and they can dub and, you know, all the time. So it's kind of sad.
Yeah. I honestly wonder, this is my conspiracy theory with the whole Sony thing, is I personally think it's just a marketing strategy. I think they are going to go back on it, and everybody's going to be like, "Oh, yay, Sony, look how great they are to their, you know, consumers. Like they listen to us, and you know, they're not going to discontinue physical media anymore. Like they heard us." And then they're going to slide in something else real sneaky while we're not looking. So.
It could be. You could be right. They could be like, now we're going to buy all the physical media, you know, like that could be like, oh, physical media sales are down, so let's create this chaos crisis and then get them back up again. There's a lot of like 80s, 90s shows. There's a trend on TikTok. I'm not on TikTok, but all TikTok videos eventually make them way to Instagram and YouTube. And I've been seeing like people that look at old sitcoms and notice that the streaming versions have like the B take of certain scenes. And so they'll have like, this is how it was on TV and this is how it's on streaming. And I feel like that's just some corporate thing, just being like, let's get people back into this show and get more clicks and get more royalty checks. And yeah, it could very well just all be a marketing, you know, scheme. For sure.
And marketing is getting involved with AI too. So we work for a larger company, and they've been talking about this as and it's not just our, you know, like any large company is doing this. I'm just saying, like,
for sure.
If you don't know about it, just because you haven't like read into it yet, but they are partnering with groups like ChatGPT to make sure that their marketing content is part of an answer that's generated. So even if you think AI is delivering you some sort of unbiased answer, I promise you, all of these companies are paying and making sure that their information is put to the top. Because if you're comparing competitors, like, you know, even say it's gaming consoles, like whatever the thing is, toy manufacturers, like they all have a vested interest in the answer that's being generated by AI. And if you think they're not going to try and influence that, you're out of your mind.
It's absolutely weighted answers.
Yeah, sponsored answers for sure.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, if you just go out and Google search anything, right? Like even before it was AI integrated, like there's the what are they called? It's not is it sponsored?
Yeah,
they have a list
like,
of sponsored.
It's sponsored.
Like, you know, it's like they give you the results first, basically, for the people that are paying them to put their search results higher in the list, right? And so
and people that have listened to the stream before, where we go down the path of Reddit, and Reddit is mostly bots. I'm not just saying that. That is like a study. It's over 50% are bots. Companies are leaning into that as well. They know that. So, and they know that Reddit has a disproportionate influence on the LLM. So they are going in and they are creating their own bots, or they're hiring people that are going in and influencing the conversations there, so that even if they aren't like paid marketing into ChatGPT or whatever, they know the source code and they are deploying to like influence it from that perspective. So it's there's not a neutral answer that you're getting from any of these places. Somebody is manipulating the source data at minimum.
Yeah, it's a wild frontier out there on the webs these days. It's interesting to see how the AI is taking over, how people are fighting against it, and just it's all kind of crazy. Torrenting is coming back at massive because of all these rights issues and everything. And you know, Best Buy took away their DVD section, so we're gonna torrent, you know, if Sony isn't gonna keep the licenses. And Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, I'll be actually that's interesting. I'll be curious to see what happens like with torrenting and all that stuff because again, like there's a surge right now in physical media. Everybody's going out and buying it
Right.
because
Right.
like so that's why I'm just like, this I don't know how much the physical media market Sony owns, but like if you were a company that owned a majority of it and people stopped, weren't buying as much, why not like play a game of chicken and just be like, yeah, we're gonna get rid of it, and then everybody goes and buys all the physical media, and then you're just like, okay, we heard you through your sales, like we'll keep it around, right? So just keep buying it if you want it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. We'll see what happens, but I don't know. They've been real quiet since, and so I feel like they're either going to backtrack because of the Outlash or because it was just a marketing
or they'll
stunt,
just keep going.
Oh yeah, since we brought up AI, so
I was waiting for you to circle back.
While we're on top of AI, we bring this up every once in a while, but like we've talked to a few authors recently, that are very, very anti-AI.
Because I mean, they've had their work used in LLMs without their, without them having like a say in it.
Yeah. So I mean, not saying there's plenty of justification for it, but yeah, I was curious. Like, have you seen an impact like with your writing? Like, have you experienced anything negative? I guess like.
I mean, I've seen a lot of indie authors in the space just freak out about it. They don't like it. I mean, it's not like an indie author is necessarily worried that someone's going to copy their voice, but it's a matter of they feel betrayed because they work hard for their work and someone's just putting in a prompt. But I think a lot of people still have an eye and an ear for AI generated, books and stuff like that. Even if you don't hear the robotic voice, you can see things. I can read a copy and know that if it was written by AI. Just there's a lot of different pointers that you can see. But I think it was 2 years ago or 3 years ago, Robert Downey Jr. did a very limited play on Broadway all about an acclaimed author that was using AI to write his books. And it was really interesting. He was programming he didn't name the brand of AI, but he was inserting some of his older works and then telling the AI to mirror his voice and write a new story because he was burnt out. And his firm, he just won like a big Nobel Prize or something like that, and people were starting to find out that he wasn't writing it and AI was writing it, and he was contemplating suicide and all that stuff. And it was just interesting that was 3 years ago, and now you do see like I can't remember who the writer was. She wrote a book called Sugar and then wrote something else that was big in like the indie romance world that just got pulled from the shelves because it got accused of being heavily influenced by AI, and even the cover was like stolen art that was AI manipulated and modified. And I mean, AI can be a tool that you could use. I mean, we've had AI for a lot longer than people realize AI.
Yes.
A lot of filters on things and Photoshop. It might not have been called AI 10 years ago, but it was AI to a degree.
He says this all the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
I'll go on that tangent in a minute.
Right. But the whole generative AI is kind of the new thing. And yeah, you can tell some program to write me a chapter in this. And that's at least for fiction stuff. It's not the same. And it's tempting, but it's just, it's not the same as writing a book. And also, I mean, anybody that says that they have a AI proof tool, I've been seeing a lot of things like, are you a college kid and you're getting caught by your professor for using AI? Well, buy our tool and we will scan for how much of your paper is AI and then we'll help you correct it. And I was so curious. I did like a trial version of one of those programs and I inserted my like a 2 chapters of a book I wrote 12 years ago and it said 99% AI. And I'm like, well, they didn't have generative AI 12 years ago. So,
Wow.
you know, I think that's all just people trying to make money. But
It's like an AI program that scans for AI to tell you that your work was made by AI, so then you'll pay them more money to
have their AI tell
like
you
it's
that your AI is not as good. So somebody has put in a good comment here about like the government's had it for at least, you know, 5. You are being very conservative. I think the government has had this for decades, and we are just getting wind of it now.
Yeah.
I think they've had it for much, much longer.
So my big tangent with a lot of the AI stuff is kind of, well, I mean, like you said, is like it's existed for a lot longer than people acknowledge. It's like they just basically rebranded it with new buzzwords, and so you know, in a lot of the arts communities, specifically like, you know, toy photography and other photography things, like when Photoshop came around, like it was a big problem because, you know, people felt that it wasn't, you know, like real photography because you photoshopped your images, and then Photoshop kind of became a tool that everybody uses with photography, and it became accepted and this and that, right? But like the brushes in, you know, in Photoshop, and like many of the Photoshop tools like are just AI. Like before they deemed them generative AI or started calling them AI, it's just like it's machine learning, you know, at its core, right? And so it's a program doing something for you, so you don't have to manually like draw around everything, right? You have a fuzzy click tool where you can click and highlight a giant section or a person, you know. It's just a more advanced version of that. And so I think that that's what's kind of funny right now, is that a lot of people are up in arms with, you know, people that make modifications to like their photography using AI, but they use Photoshop. And so but I'm like, and now, but AI is so baked into Photoshop. Like, do you know if Photoshop is actually utilizing AI for it? I don't know. Like, I don't use Photoshop.
I think it's just the blatant stuff that pisses people off. Like, you're so brazen that you can't even take a second to double check, you know. I do see a lot of cons that have, when you're signing up for cons and they do have an AI rule, it's like, I have seen some people that are just like, no AI, not at all. Other ones be like, we're okay with modified content using AI, but completely 100% generated. And who knows how well they can police that. But I mean, it is everywhere. I was up in Michigan for 2 weeks on vacation, and we went into a couple gift shops, and every single gift shop had at least one kid's book that came out 2 months ago in 2026, and every single page was AI artwork, you know, with very, you could just tell, like, it was nobody drew this, and it's the same dead eye expressions, and none of the characters are actually looking at each other, and you know, lines are fudged and stuff like that. So I mean, in some spaces, people don't care. That gift shop, they just wanted a cheap book that some family can give to their 5-year-old if he likes hockey, you know, and other spaces that are indie creator supporting, they want to try to have a stance against it. And it's going to be harder and harder to spot. I mean, look at the Will Smith eating spaghetti videos from 3 years ago to the stuff you can generate now. It is insane how quickly it's moving. And I am worried about the state of government uses and public media and stuff like that in the future. But, you know, for now, we just have to do what we got to do. But from a creative standpoint, I mean, I can see nonfiction stuff using AI, but then that's a chance, a roll of the dice. There's a lot of attorneys getting in trouble for case citing that don't exist, you know, a lot of trivia books that those aren't real facts, you know, and if you get caught, you deserve it. I mean, you didn't do a little due diligence. That's as far as I'm concerned.
The thing that I'm always curious about is really the future, and like more so like children of the future, because like we grew up in the era where like we did not have computers as kids, but then we got them later on, right? Well, now like every child has a tablet, has access to everything, right? Yes. But because the technology is ever increasing in how good it is, like how do you like, if you're 5, 8, whatever, right? How do you know that it's not real?
I mean,
and I say that because like your mother
well,
has
that's
a
what
problem.
that's where I was gonna go with. Is it's not just kids,
Yeah.
like the boomers. We all need to be there for our parents right now because they are not prepared.
Yes.
They can't.
Yes.
The boomers cannot do this. Like I have had many a discussions, and I'm just like, I think the internet needs to somehow get turned off in the house.
Going
Like,
back to a break from the
I
internet.
think I'm going to go back to the farm and I'm going to snip the wires. Like I think I'm
Yeah.
going to cut it off because you were not made for this.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the video generation is geared towards the younger generations because they have short attention spans, and they are the generation of TikTok. And I mean, how many songs are popular now just because they know a 10-second clip from a TikTok video? How many songs are not, they don't even bother creating a full song structure. They just have a really good hook and then an intro and an exit, and that's it.
And the 3 seconds interesting too, because like, clearly we do a lot of videos, right? And a view is counted on all of the platforms. You get a view if it's 3 seconds for a short.
Yeah.
So even though like we'll put together things that are 30 seconds or like, 2.5 minutes, whatever it is, 3 seconds is all they're expecting in terms of retention.
Which I think is wild.
I'll see things on Twitter and I still call it Twitter. It's just trash. I'll look up Twitter and I'll see these AI generated movies and they'll be like, this is better than anything you'll see in Hollywood. And it's clearly not, but you can just tell it's AI generated because nothing holds for longer than a couple seconds before it has to cut. Because the longer an AI video goes, the more it falls apart. And some of these people are like, this looks amazing. And anyone that's watched an actual movie that lasts for longer than a couple seconds, they're like, no, you would not want to watch a movie that cuts this much.
Every 3 seconds, yeah.
Right. So, I mean, I'm sure it'll get better. But yeah, it's definitely, I understand why some of the younger generations are okay with it.
Yeah, but I just wonder, like, is there going to be a point? Because how do you know what's real? Like, how will they ever know what's real? I guess is maybe what I'm trying to say, is because like if you grow up where like 90% of the internet is like fake, like how do you ever know what's real? Like as you become an adult, because like you can't. I mean, again, like
we can all just hope for the solar flare.
Yeah,
I love you all.
I'll miss talking to you, but we'll figure it out. We'll drive to your house. We got nothing better to do. Yeah. So I personally get concerned about the future because it just keeps getting better and better. And like, again, the younger generations, like I just don't know how you know the difference if that's what you grow up on, right? Like,
but that's history. I mean, one of my favorite albums that I have downstairs is Halloween, and it's the H.G. Wells audio drama of the War of the Worlds that Orson Welles did. And there was some people that killed themselves when they heard that on the radio because they thought it was legit, and that was a radio production. So I mean, they were having this conversation in the early 1900s, so that's just the nature of technology in the world, and God help us.
Well, and I like the positive spin though, because I do think, well, if we take it back around here,
the positive spin.
The positive spin is like it's gonna go so sideways that we're going to abandon it at some point. Probably, because we are just gonna have to go out and touch grass and hang out with real people. Like at some point, like it's just gonna be too much slop, and like we're gonna lean back into physical media and going to parks and like having that sort of community involvement. Like everything's a pendulum. It all swings back.
You would hope Wall-E and Ready Player One aren't, projections of our future. Yeah.
We're not too far away from Wall-E right now. I'm being honest. Like my biggest fear is like Wall-E becoming an actual documentary.
It could be. Do we want to pull up another wheel question? I like this one was a good one.
Do whatever you want to do. This is your show.
It is my show. Yep.
I'm just here to click the buttons because you don't have your own mouse.
That's true. I do not. Which toy, it doesn't have to be an action figure, so you don't have to, lean into that.
Could be a slice of toast.
Yeah, would make the scariest horror movie villain, and why?
I mean, I had a popcorn bucket of that monkey from The Monkey last year, the Stephen King monkey toy. Did you see that movie? It was.
I know the monkey. I know what you're talking about. I've not seen the movie.
I've read the story. I've not seen the movie yet.
That sounds terrifying.
Yeah, no, gosh, I'm gonna have the lame answer and just be like any toy.
I mean,
because I love it when movies or games or books turn the table on something, like going back to Monty Python and the Holy Grail, and you had that little bunny that just like killed everybody in the end. That was fantastic. I was like, yes. There's a funny, I think it was a Funny or Die skit, or maybe it was a different brand that did Captain Planet, and Don Cheadle was like, what if Captain Planet went evil, and I grew up on Captain Planet, and it was just Captain Planet turning all of the world into trees and just killing all the humans. I love that stuff. So any toy could be evil.
We just read one of the animes, which I'm not gonna say which one, so I don't spoil it for anybody if you're reading it. But there was a whole like book on like the characters getting sucked into a cursed board game.
It's basically Jumanji.
Yeah, it was basically Jumanji. Yeah, fair. I have not seen that movie either, but I know the concept of. I just not see it. I just haven't watched a lot of these movies. Classic. Sorry, we'll add it to the list. But I mean, even like a board game could be super scary, getting sucked into that.
The best part of the old Goosebumps books were like taking general things and making them. I think there was one about a sponge that was creepy as hell, and I love that. I love that kind of stuff. Anything can be scary in the right context. So
actually, I miss Goosebumps. That was good stuff. I wish there was like an adult version of Goosebumps. I
mean, there probably is.
Just where it was just slightly more real and spooky. But I mean, I was big into Goosebumps as a kid.
People would say that's the X-Files or Fringe or something like that. So I mean, that's what made me write that first Sci-Fi trilogy was the X-Files and stuff like that. Growing up, I love those type of freak of the week, conspiracy, aliens, governments against you type shows. Those are great.
Oh, do you ever watch the Twilight Zones?
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. I love them. I mean,
you're big in the Twilight Zone.
Kind of influenced a lot of things for sure.
Mm-hmm. His story too, wild. Like, have you read about his biography and everything? Like, he went through the ringer.
Mm-hmm.
He was actually like, oh gosh, I'm having like a brain moment here for the Twilight Zones. Why can I not think of his name?
Creator?
Yeah, the creator. Okay, Rod Sterling. Yeah, I was kept trying to say Ron, and that was not it. Rod Sterling. He was in World War II in the Pacific because he was Jewish. So they weren't sending him to Europe. And he had some like stories from the Pacific that are crazy. Like they were far out there. They hadn't had food in a while, and everyone's getting a little delirious. And finally, like a U.S. plane like dropped like supplies, and someone was so delirious. They were so excited they like miscalculated, like, hey, I can't get this crate, and the dude got crushed by a crate, like one of his like best friends. But he like had all sorts of like crazy experiences out in the Pacific. Then he came back, was going to college, had gotten married, like was just trying to make some money to like put himself through school and do on top of the GI Bill, because GI Bill didn't pay that much back then. And he was an experimental parachute like tester. So that's what he would do, like, just to make some extra money, is be like, I don't know if this is going to open or not, but whatever, F it. Like, I'm just going to jump out of this plane and see if this design worked. Like, he had a crazy life. Like, I highly recommend, like, going deep on and he died at, like, 54, like, just super, super young. And the Twilight Zones were only, like, 4 or 5 years? I mean, it's a very short, like, time period there. His daughter did a biography on him. It's on my shelf. I've read parts of it. I haven't read the whole thing.
I'm gonna have to look that up. Yeah, I knew some of that stuff. I didn't know a lot of it. I love histories of writers like that, like Tolkien's history in the war and his friendship with C.S. Lewis and stuff like that. I love those type of that. Going back to your other question, there's something that history says didn't happen. The whole Mr. Rogers was a sniper. And he always wore sweaters because his arms are covered in tattoos. I still meet people today that are like, that's not true. It's like, no, it's not. But I love his real history as much as his fake history.
No, he was a pastor. He was
pastor. He went in front of Congress. He's great. Yeah.
He was very
or at least that's what they tell you.
Yeah. What I liked that he felt very passionate about, and he was kind of the last person to do that in children's television. I mean, like there were certain areas, like Blue's Clues, I think did this in children's programming as well. But a lot of kids programming, to go back to the 3 seconds, it was that like a lot of kids programming in like the late 80s, early 90s. It was like very loud, flashy, like, quick cuts and all of that. But he was very intentional about like just sitting there. There was like one episode where he just set like a timer for a minute and everybody just sat in silence and was like, this is what 1 minute feels like. Can you imagine that in a child's programming today or anything, like just where you're just going to sit there with the main host and just like sit in silence for 60 seconds?
This should be a game we start playing on our show. It's just like we all just sit, see how long we can sit quiet and just look at each other.
Oh yeah. Hey, Mr. Roger, he did some amazing things on that show too. I mean, and he broke grounds with things like when him and the post office guy shared a pool together, just putting their feet in. Friendly. Like, yeah, that was a huge thing. Yeah, that's good show. That and Reading Rainbow. I grew up on those shows. Like most of it, not obviously when they came out, but I loved. That's the nerd in me. I was a PBS nerd, and Reading Rainbow. I was actually on Reading Rainbow as a kid. I was
you were what?
Yeah.
How did you?
How is that not the start? You should be like, "Hello, my name is Joshua. I am a Reading Rainbow
love." Yeah.
That would be like my first sentence in my biography.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you can find me on things such as Reading Rainbow.
Yeah. No, here. Tell the story.
I hate it. I hate it. You can't find me. So they did a thing through PBS where like each state that they like a school district had to win a thing to be on Reading Rainbow. And then they'd have a special episode that featured a limited amount of kids that they thought were great. And they came to our school and they set up a whole recording studio, and you had to pick a book. And I still have it. I was either in 2nd or 3rd grade, and it was a book on the original climbers of Mount Everest. And I did a whole, like, I practiced the shit out of this because I thought I was going to be an actor as a kid. And I was just like, I'm going to nail this. And I got picked. And I remember we had to go across the alley to watch it because in Council Bluffs, you can get Nebraska and Iowa PBS. And for some reason, our TV only got Nebraska PBS. And so we had to go across the neighbors to watch it. And it showed a limited amount of kids, and they featured me on there. And every couple of years, I'll call that school district back and be like, how do we get a freaking copy of that? And I still haven't figured it out yet, but yeah. Well, I didn't get to meet LeVar Burton, sadly, but it was pretty cool. But yeah, stuff like that. I love that. I loved Ghost Rider as a kid. There's a lot of like writing imagination things back in the day that really got my imagination pumping. So yeah,
that's so cool. So PBS, a government entity. I would be writing my members of Congress. I'm just saying, I would pull like no stops there. I'd be like, listen, this happened. I was in 2nd or 3rd grade. It was this school. Like,
this happened. History told me it didn't happen, but I believe it happened.
How do I get access to this? Call.
Yeah.
I'm going to add this to our list of like things to maybe do someday, because I'm just surprise him with like, hey, like, we came across.
I have the book. Like, I have the actual book. We wrote in the inscription on Reading Rainbow, and so I have it. I know it exists. So it happened. It happened. Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. Oh my goodness. I've never met somebody who hasn't Reading Rainbow. You're like the most famous person I've ever met.
I'm sorry.
You met Pierre Cullen. That's not true.
Okay. All right. But Reading Rainbow, like, I mean, I was like, right. Like that's such like an influential, part of I can still probably sing the song. Like it's going in my head right now.
I was a big fan of Carmen Sandiego because,
Oh yeah. Me too. Me too.
In the world is Carmen Sandiego. Mm-hmm. Did you was your school district poor where Channel 5 bought your television sets? Do you know what I'm talking about? Like, So definitely we didn't have TVs. This is also a conspiracy theory I have. Nobody else remembers this. But we definitely did not have TVs. And then we were all had to watch something called Channel 5, which included Carmen Sandiego and something else. But like there were certain, like there was a kids news program, but like we had to watch like 30 minutes of TV every day because this company gave like this Channel 5. It was probably government.
We had that.
Like, it was probably,
we had that. It was called Channel 1 when I was in
that
school.
might have been
Yeah,
what it was.
we had that. I remember that. Yeah,
Yeah.
there was an elementary, a middle school, and a it was part of homeroom in high school. Yeah, I remember that. Mm-hmm.
Yep. We had to watch the television because it was they like whoever. There was commercials in there, and the commercials paid for the TVs. And
interesting. I didn't know that angle of it, but interesting. Yeah, that got me into journalism in high school. I wanted to be a part of the journalism crew in high school. That I have some funny stories about that. But yeah, I either wanted to be a reporter or an actor growing up, and so yeah. Mm-hmm. Channel 1 was influential for sure.
So you wanted to be a reporter or an actor, so you joined the Air Force, and then
I know.
I'm just
okay,
so
one of my favorite movies growing up was A Few Good Men, and I also wanted to be a lawyer growing up, and I was terrible at tests, but I actually studied for the oh gosh, I'm blanking on it. It's the ASVAB test that you have to take before you go in the military. Mm-hmm. And I scored mid-90s, and they were like, what do you want to do? And I was like, I want to be a paralegal. And I'm jealous of the kids that go into the military today because you can literally get contracted for your job before you even get on the plane to go down to basic training. And back then, like based on your scores, they would send your scores with you. When you went down to basic training, they would show you a list of the jobs available based on your score range and say, pick a job. And I got down there. Well, I had the same recruiter from junior year because I signed up to junior year until a month before I went down to basic. And then he got reassigned and we got this new recruiter that was shit. I didn't like him and he didn't do anything with us. And then I get down to basic and they give me the jobs and I'm like, where's paralegal? And they're like, not with your scores. You got you got this. Yeah. And I'm like, those aren't my scores. And they said, well, you can get out and come back in a year or you can pick from the list. And so I did not get to be a paralegal in the military. I pursued that later in life, but yeah, I didn't get to do what I wanted in the military, but you know, I did stuff and I fixed jets and went around the world and it was fun. But yeah. Yeah, reporter and actor and lawyer. Those are my original like wannabes. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I wish I had some sort of ambition ever wanting to be something.
I mean,
like if like I have no recollection ever of like being like I wanted to be this when I grew up. It was all just very like, let's just not die.
I mean, I had different things I wanted to be, but they always just got like hard sidetracked. And I'll just give one of them, which was when I was a kid, I wanted to be a veterinarian because we lived on a farm. We had cattle and it was a cow-calf operation. And there was one instance where there was just a very horrific birth. And I was like probably 11 years old and helping with this. And I'm just like, nope, I'm good. This is not what I want to do. Because in my mind as a child, I didn't realize you didn't have to work on large animals. I did not realize like as a vet, like you could choose just to work with like cats and dogs or like something else. Right. I was just like, oh God, this is going to be my life is I'm going to have to deal with these like large animals and I cannot go through this again. So it's so horrible.
Yeah. Sounds right. Actually, I did contemplate for a while of going into the arts of some sort. But then I realized how those people don't make any money. And so, like I was going to do like, you know, photography at one point, graphic design, I don't know, web design.
And I mean, that's all basically what you're doing now. Like you're just doing it.
Right. You found a way. Found a way to have it influence your life. I love it.
Yeah. Some roundabout way.
I mean, all three of those things were always, I mean, all of my loves always had to do something with books and something with writing, whether it was legal books or writing for, you know, reports and stuff like that. I always loved that. And so I'm glad that that's a part of my life now. And you know, those are probably, I didn't work hard at all in high school, except for an English class and journalism and, you know, band. That was all that's all I really put myself towards. And my favorite memories are from those things. So, or at least my favorite high school memories. The two memories I have from journalism that stick with me today. One was I was like a sophomore, and there was a senior in journalism because, it was an elective. So all the different grades could be a part of it. And that senior was in senior English, and he had this book called The Power of One. And I thought it looked like such a cool book. And I went to the school library and it wasn't there. And I went to the regular library and it wasn't there. And so I just went to that teacher and I was like, hey, I saw one of your students reading this book. Can I get a copy? And she said, you're not allowed to read that book. And she could have told me that it was like it wasn't just a regular English class. It was like the pre-college classes. I'm blanking on what that's called, but they have rules on what, they can read special books that the regular kids can't, because they're, adult circumstances and stuff like that in the book. And so she could have told me that she wasn't allowed to give me a copy, but instead she said, you're not allowed to read it. And so I found
accepted.
Exactly. That was my challenge. So I found out the day that like they were supposed to be done with that book reports were supposed to be turned in, and it was like a Friday. And so I stole the book from the senior in journalism class on that Monday. I read it over the week and I turned it into his teacher with a letter that like summarized the book and then said why I loved it and said, no one tells me what I can and cannot read, and I'm never going to be a part of your special class, but whatever. I read what I wanted to read. So that was on Friday. I totally did. And so that was on Friday. So Monday comes around and my English teacher pulls me aside and he has the letter. And in red are all the parts that teacher had circled to say how rude I was. And in yellow were my teacher's comments on how well written it was. And he was like, you do not belong in my class. You need to be in her class. And so I was in that teacher's class for the next 2 years, and she became like my favorite teacher. And then I stole that book again my senior year. So I have that book still on my bookshelf. I love that book so much. But yeah, that was a fun high school memory for sure. Mm-hmm.
I worked at Dairy Queen when I was in high school.
Yeah, I worked at Village Inn. We all worked. Yeah.
Oh, good.
I'm so stupid.
You are not. I did not marry you for your brains.
I know.
Your creativity, yes. Your brains, not so much. We're let's grab another question. These are great. I love these. I love these conversations.
Don't tell me what to do.
I'm learning so much.
You don't know me.
Something good.
Oh, I'm
something
excited
good.
about this. Oh, okay. This is not the one I thought we were landing on, but I'm so excited about this one.
Could...
What irrational object have you kept because throwing it away felt wrong?
Oh, okay.
And you just moved.
Sure
so
wasn't
I
the
know.
popcorn bucket.
No, because you just moved. So there is something that you were like, man, I'm moving. I should definitely let go of this. But you put it in the box and you're like, I just can't yet.
And
like
I did toss a lot of shit. What was something? Oh, yes, I know. I went through a lot of my old clothes that I don't wear anymore. I have a black zoot suit that for some reason I bought from like a Korean tailor in like some little Korean town in 2005. And then I was the guy. I was the white kid with the black zoot suit that I should not have been wearing. I wore that all around when we went out on the town in Korea. And then I brought it over to London and wore it around there. And back then, like I was just skin and bones, like a rail, and I could never fit into that suit now. I don't know why I have it. I would never wear it again, but I still have it. It's hanging in my closet. And yep, that's probably an irrational thing that I should just toss for sure.
Knowing me, almost everything I have is irrational, and I will not get rid of it.
It is a lot of
I could just like in any direction I could reach and pick something up. I'm sure that I'd just be like, I should throw this away, but it'll never happen. I have drawers of stuff
Oh my god.
that I'm just like, I can't throw this out.
He had these like the dog poop like empty the roll holder.
Oh my god, this was
And-
to troll
I
you.
know it was to troll you, but like troll me, but like you had like several in your pockets, like every time like you're doing laundry, like you're taking some out of your pockets or whatever. And then you somehow stored up a bunch one time and then you like pretended like you were pulling 50 out of your pocket.
Because I actually had
because
50
you had
in my
50 in your
pocket. Because you like gave me a hard time about it. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna keep them all.
And then this turned into something that we've also not executed on yet, but it is an idea of like pocket trash art,
Oh, yeah.
where it's just like whatever weird fidget things,
Yes.
like batteries, zip ties, things, and then we put it in like a shadow box frame.
Okay.
What
Yeah.
I have right now.
Yeah, see, he's pulling out pocket trash right now.
Pull it out.
I always just have random stuff that I require, and
Oh my gosh,
it just goes from.
I am like
For
show the internet
Okay.
all the random pocket trash you've got here.
So this is a parking garage ticket from June 26th that I been carrying
Yeah.
around in my
You
pocket.
still
since
need that when you leave. When you leave that parking garage, you still need that. Yeah.
June 26th.
You've been there
Why?
for a minute.
I don't know. I put it in my pocket and then it just
Keep
it
going.
comes out.
You got a pile of
like,
crap here.
This is a little coin battery. I don't even know what this is from.
It's
Who
dead.
who knows
It's a
how
dead
long-
battery.
Who
It's
knows
dead.
how it's been in my pocket.
And you felt bad with just tossing it in the regular trash, so you're holding
Yeah,
on.
like,
to
It's
get
like
to
I
the right
changed the
trash
battery or
can.
something stuck in my pocket. I'm like, there it stays forever now until I lose it. I have 3 different twist ties of various sizes and lengths.
Nice.
This one has a stamp on it. It's 01/15/26.
I just any given
So
day.
this one was on something that expired in January.
Oh God, what were
Okay.
you eating that expired in
I don't know.
January?
And then I really don't know what this is. It's just a little black cylinder of plastic of some sort.
Nice.
So
Just any given day, we could turn this pocket trash into some sort of shadow
You
box.
should. You
Yeah.
should do an Etsy site that's just pocket trash.
just like,
Framed pocket trash.
That's our table. Our
Well,
table is
yeah.
framed pocket.
Yes.
so the
Yes.
reason why these all stay together is because they all fit like one over the other, right, into this circle. And so
Yeah.
I
I will say now, since you guys are collectibles, I have thought of one collectibles that I still have that I haven't touched in over a decade or two would be my Pog collection.
Oh my
from-
god.
From elementary school. I still have it. I've got the
Oh.
slammers. I've got these tubes of Pogs that I haven't even opened in 15 years, but I still have my Pogs.
Pogs
I love
like
those
is
things.
trying to make a comeback. I
Is
was
it?
being I played Pogs quite a bit, and I actually had a Pog maker. I'd make my own Pogs.
Oh my goodness.
And, like,
Oh, nice.
But I was being heavily targeted on social media for Pogs. They're like,
They're like-
the area I'm from, like, and
They
I
took one look at you and they're like,
Yeah.
"This man had Pogs. He
Yeah.
needs
Yeah.
Pogs."
like no
Just like-
Pogs was like because like his I don't know. I'll look it up here while we're talking and see if they still have it available. They were doing these like basically like these founder packages like that included
Oh,
so
don't
many
fucking
things.
tell me
and,
that. I'll
and
look it up.
and I almost bought 2 of them because I was like, oh my god, Sarah, we could play Pogs.
We're
'Cause
not going to play Pogs. We do not need
No,
to add
that's what we
another
need.
collection in
We
our
need
life.
that could be our merch. Is we could
Oh.
we could start a Pog
Okay.
tournaments.
We could
Yes.
have custom Pogs that we make. We'll get a Pog maker, and you can do that, and then we will sell pocket trash art.
You can't.
There we go.
Actually, Pog. I watched a YouTube documentary thing on Pogs the other week, and it's been more than a day, so I forgot all of it. But like, there was a very interesting story behind Pogs.
But you don't remember it.
No.
Okay, so we're just gonna end it right there.
So go on YouTube and look up the history of Pogs.
Look up the
and
history of
you'll
Pogs.
just be like, oh, that
It's
is
super interesting. You'll forget about it, but it's super interesting.
My memory is very short. I
You have a lot of redeeming qualities.
yeah, like,
You're-
actually I would argue that my short memory is very
it
redeeming
is
because
redeeming.
you could do something very irritating and in
Yeah.
10-15 minutes it never happened.
Whereas
Goldfish,
I am a
I
typical
love
woman,
it.
it takes me hours
Yeah.
to get over it.
There was an antique shop just out of town that was like had a Pog tournament mat or something, and I was like, oh, I should buy this. Yeah. And I'm like, but I haven't touched my actual Pogs in 15 years at least. So I should not buy it. But
Well, I'll tell you
look
what,
at
if you
this
want to get
22K gold. Oh my goodness.
a Pog tournament going here, yeah, these were limited. I don't know if they still have any available. These
So
hobby
great.
boxes.
So
Pog
good.
revival starts here. Look at
Mhm.
this.
Oh
thing.
yeah, they're working. They got the branding and everything there.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're trying. 12 packs equals 96 Pogs. Oh, this is dangerous. Extremely rare.
Yeah.
Putting all the like the key phrases in there to get you. Yeah.
I know this. The gold.
$119 for 96 Pogs. Oh, okay.
Wait, is
Right.
that the?
It's
is
still
that the-
available.
Oh, is it still available?
Yeah, go down. Scroll right there. $119.99.
Add 2 or more to your cart, and we'll send you a free official.
Oh, the free play mat.
Oh, nice. Oh, and you can do it in 4 interest-free installments of $30. Let's go. Yikes.
What rare? Look at this. The website just looks like it's straight out of the.
Yeah.
I do remember those base Pogs, that character right there with the
Yeah.
big teeth. I remember that. Yep.
I had some. Yeah, look. How do I get the gold one? The gold one's what I want. Can I bring this out? Will this
Stamp 2020. Interesting. So they've been trying this for a minute.
Yeah, this has been going on for a little bit here. It went because who was it? Oh, aluminum. I don't care about the aluminum.
Gold or
No,
bust.
you need to wait. Yeah, you got to wait for it. Huh. That's crazy.
Because somebody bought this and is like trying to get it up and going again.
Yeah, that's
Double
great.
Yeah,
Well, we should find out who they are. See if they want to come on the show when we talk about Pogs.
I'm telling you, like I might buy
Whatever. I don't care.
a couple of these,
I don't care.
and then we can have like live play sessions where we just sit and play Pogs
Yeah,
That's-
that's
and
We'll
make the
meet
internet.
up. I'll dig out my collection and we'll do it.
Ooh, yeah, how
Yeah.
do we do? Yeah, okay, no way. This is the authentic Pogs.
we'll meet
oh,
halfway. We'll meet in
full
St.
solid.
Joe. We'll go to the
Yes.
asylum there. Have
Yeah.
you been to the asylum in St. Joe? That museum?
I have.
Oh,
Mhm.
it's so cool.
Fantastic.
They have this artwork of stuff that this woman swallowed, and then which it was a lot of things that she swallowed when they had to open her up because she had swallowed a lot of stuff you shouldn't, like pins and whatnot. They have this huge piece of artwork down there of everything that came out of her stomach.
I might
It's
look
wild.
into becoming a Pog dealer.
Yeah, so you can get wholesale pricing,
Oh my
right?
Yeah.
gosh.
Maybe we should go in on this authentic Pog.
We are not spending $1,200 on.
But it's for 12.
Yeah.
It's for 12 cases, though.
No, absolutely not.
Like, don't act like it's just one case, Sarah. Come on.
Yeah,
You
you
wanted
could
to-
sell those at your next con, like easy. You know, we just
Yeah.
had this conversation on don't dive too deep on your first con
Yes.
table. Yeah, be
Yes.
careful.
Actually, do you want to tell that story? That was such a wild story about that vendor.
Yeah, so that was one of the earlier Des Moines cons. It wasn't the current show, it was a different show. And I like a lot of vendors, I went there because it was super cheap. And that was my second or third year there. My first year, I went there with nothing to sell. I had a little sign that said Fierce Lit, and I was trying to raise money for the Kickstarter for that comic that you showed because I can't draw to save my life, and I needed to raise $6,000 to pay an artist. And Ilaria did that book for me. She was 16 over in Italy going to college, and I told her I would raise $6,000 if she drew 200 pages, and she did, and it was wonderful. And I was there my first year. Corey Taylor of Slipknot gave me my first $20 at that show.
Oh, wow.
So it was like, and I didn't have anything to sell. So 2 years later, I was there with a couple books. I had a whole banner. I had a 13-foot vinyl banner at the time and a lot of books. And I had all these other things. I did these felt monsters and everything. I had built up a booth over time. And, you know, what is it? 6 or 7, 8 years from then, now I have a totally different booth. And you kind of build over time.
Mhm.
And, but those cons are great entry cons because they're cheap. You can get in, and I always would encourage someone, hey, you got a book in the works? Come next year when it's done. Or you got some artwork? These are very low entry barrier tables that you could come in and get your work out there. And I just felt so bad because this artist next to me had got a table, and he was just starting out. He had some cool drawings. He was still trying to learn his style, but he had potential. And every type of artist has some person that'll adore that art. You just got to find your audience, right? But every con you go to, it's a gamble as to, are you bringing too much stuff? You know, are you overspending for the con? Are you going to make back your table and whatnot? And I felt bad because this kid, him and his very new fiance, who was there just like, I don't know what we're doing, but I'm here to support you. He brought maybe 10 prints of his work, like his 10 favorite drawings, but he bought 1,000 prints of each. And I don't know where, I mean, and he went to some FedEx or something and got it there. And even 10 years ago, whenever that was still crazy expensive. He had spent so much money, and he thought that he was going to bank it because he had gone to so many shows. And it was a 3-day con. No, it was a 2-day con. And the first day he didn't sell anything. And he was literally having a mental breakdown. And he made it halfway through the second day and he sold a couple things. But then he's like, I'm going to go bankrupt. And I'm like, you're not going to go bankrupt. You're going to have a lot of inventory for the foreseeable future. But, here's some, maybe co-share the next couple booths you get and try to continue going. But yeah, I would never suggest diving that deep. Same way with a book. I go through KDP and I can get a lot of cheap author copies, but I try not to overbuy my inventory because then it's on me to sell it, and a lot of first-time creators just think they can expense things, but that's not how that works. Taxes are a whole nother thing. But you learn things over shows, and I learned things with that comic that you have. I met a comic producer, publisher at C2E2 in Chicago, and they were Canadian, and they had a whole rack of the independent graphic novels that they had produced. And I bought a book there called something The Moon, Who Knew the Moon, or something like that. It was a cool werewolf independent graphic novel that I loved. And I was having a hard time finishing the novel version of that book. And a friend of mine was like, you like comics, why don't you write a graphic novel version of that? And I found this booth, and their whole pitch was, are you an author or are you an author and an artist combo, but you don't know how to push your book and get it made? We have a dedicated Kickstarter thing that's funded all these books. We have a printer that we're connected with. We will put your campaign on our Kickstarter. We'll raise the money for you. We'll give you access to this printer who will print it cheap, and we'll help you put out your book. And I was like, okay, let's go. So I found the artist. We did enough artwork to cut a little trailer for the Kickstarter, and we raised something like $8,000 or $9,000, and $6,000 were to go to her, and the other $2,000-3,000 were to go to printing. And as soon as the artwork was done, she was going to get paid on the back end, but we'd raised the money, we'd locked it in. As soon as it was ready to go to print, that company went off the internet. I had spoke to them through email and through Facebook after meeting them in person, and they shut down their Facebook and they stopped replying on their email and just took the money. And he was in Canada and I was in Iowa, and I'm like, how am I going to deal with this? I was emailing him and I was trying to find him on other things. I found him on Twitter, and he had stopped doing the comic thing and was now trying to launch his own aggressive apparel brand. And I was like, what the hell is this crap? And he wouldn't respond to me on there. Once he figured it out who I was, he would stop responding. And I was freaking out because all the pledge people he had given me access to the Kickstarter, but he had taken the money. And so now all these people on the Kickstarter, back then, if you didn't get your book or your item within a time frame, you could get your money back. And I'm like messaging everybody, this is what happened. Please don't recall all your pledges. I will find a way to make it work. Just give me a moment. And I'm not rich. I don't have $9,000 on hand. you know? So I spent all summer trying to figure out, do I need to hunt him down in Canada? Do I even have a legal option as an American citizen?
Right.
And he's Canadian.
Like how do you sue cross-border like that? That's crazy.
Right. I reached out to the author of that book that I bought that I loved. And I was like, hey, do you have any suggestions? And he was like, oh, my guy, I wish you would have reached out to me before, because I've been in court with him for a year and I would have told you to stay away. And I was so heartbroken. And I was like, this is it. This is my first book and this is how it goes. And I guess this is a sign. And then I found his parents on Facebook. And this guy was already like in his late 40s. And so his parents were on Facebook and they were just like so proud of their son and the businesses that he was making. And I reached out to him and like, this is what your son did. This is the money he owes me. Can you help? And the next day I got a $9,000 like PayPal to me from his dad.
Wow.
And like no message, but they sent it. And so I took that money and I paid the artist immediately. I had to hunt down my own American publisher that I could afford to make these comics, because color graphic novels are not cheap, especially if they're on decent paper. And then I had to ship them all over the world, which costs money. And thankfully I just broke even. Yeah. And then I went and finished the book and kind of the rest is history from there. But I mean, it's kind of the business, and you learn things over years, and you're going to find obstacles, but you got to just find a way to work around them or give up, one of the two.
I'd give up.
I don't even know what to say. Like that is just like a nightmare scenario. And you were so lucky that you were able to get like the parents stepping in and paying it. But also I do kind of feel for the parents, like, man.
I know, like I'm
sure they probably knew he was, but maybe not. Maybe he had just like totally deluded them on all the things too.
Maybe. But you just think they have a table at a Comic-Con, they had all these books, they must be legit,
Yeah.
So I guess I was the lucky one.
Goodness.
That's just, I don't know. I'm the type of person that likes to pretend that I could totally scam somebody, but I know I couldn't. I like to sit and scheme, right? I'm a schemer.
Yeah.
But
I mean, you have been known to set up multiple Google accounts just to like fake harass somebody.
But
just all in good fun.
All in good fun. But I
and actually his best friend right now is playing a prank on him. We believe this is we keep getting calls from the like county like sheriff's
jail.
And but we can definitely hear like his wife giggling in the background, so we think that they're like trying to get us to go down to the jail and like bail, like pick up the call, like accept the fees and that it'll be.
I'm also like, I don't, if you're in jail, I'm not gonna answer your call. It's your problem to figure out, not mine.
You got kids, they can go down there and get you.
I'm just like, I don't have anybody like that. I don't know.
But they've done it a couple of times. They're really trying to do like a long
in defense of my honor. Like it's a whole different story. But if you get yourself in trouble, like you can figure it out. But but no, I just like, again, like I like to scheme and play all in good fun jokes, but I could never imagine like setting up a scheme that would be something so intricate to set up things at a convention and get people to like go through all that work. And I don't know, like it at that point,
different person,
like at that point it just seems like you would have done so much of like, why not just be a real thing? You know what I mean? Like if you go through all that, like why just,
I mean, maybe he lost his printer or something and or got tired of it and just decided, hey, I'm in another country, I can take the money and run, and he almost got away with it too. So I mean, clearly they were real books, like he had a stack of 15 or 20 different books that they had put out, and the only that Kickstarter was helpful, and had he just said, hey, figure it out, here's the money, I would have been like, oh, well, that sucks, but I would have figured it out. But yeah, he did take that money and run. So I did get very lucky, and I kind of, that fueled me to write the next book and keep going. Is like, if I can overcome that, I can overcome a lot of different things. And but I do caution people when they're like, oh, I just partnered up with this stranger that I met on the other side of the comic hall. We're gonna do this together, and and I'm always just like, okay, well, take a step back, protect yourself. If it's your own thing, maybe do an NDA or something like that. But Comic-Cons bring a lot of people together, but yeah, unfortunately, there's always going to be somebody out there trying to take advantage of somebody else. So,
why are you shaking your head in agreement when you invite anybody and
Oh, I
everybody
do.
it's like to come and stay in our guest room?
I mean, I'm very susceptible to this sort of stuff. Like, I'm nodding my head because I would totally get conned again.
yeah. Like, acts like it's only happened.
No,
once.
it's happened a couple times.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
It's her own doing.
It is. It's all my own doing. I have no stranger danger, and I should figure it out.
You're welcome for me existing.
I know. I totally would have probably joined a cult without you.
No, you would have. Like, you would be in a cult. If you want, like, well, actually, it's pretty normal now. I'm like, so if you want a real life use case of somebody write a book about, like,
no,
like
that is a story for a different podcast.
No, I just mean, like, you get yourself in all kinds of trouble, and like, if like you could just take your personality and like that's a character right there that would be an ongoing series.
I know.
I mean, good.
I know.
I mean, Taylor Swift writes about all of her exes in her songs, and I just, all the people that scammed me, they inspire people that get gruesome deaths in my later books, So I mean, there you go. That's how I get my revenge.
Maybe that's my problem. I need an outlet for revenge that's not like trying to burn down neighbor houses.
That's not just like being an ultimate troll to people on the internet.
I don't know. I am pretty good at that, though.
You are great at being a troll. You are
actually, that would be that would probably be a service that I could offer, is like, hey, do you want somebody to troll your trolls?
Yeah.
Like,
oh yeah.
He does excellent.
I will respond to every one of the comments.
Let's go. That could be, you could make money on that for sure. I mean, a non-bot troll. Yeah.
Let's do one more. Let's do one more wheel question here. Okay. Let's see what.
You know what I really like about this thing that we do here is like, there's just no rhyme or reason to any of it.
No. People have structures. I'm like, F structures. We're going to live dangerously.
We tried structure.
Oh. Do you believe objects or places can hold on to energy or memories of people?
I mean, sure. Like, isn't that what a haunted house could be? Like holding on to, sure. Yeah. I kind of more from a romantic side of things, like I love for example, I'm wearing it right now, the Grand Hotel. So I've been going up to Michigan for the last few years because a 8th grade friend of mine, her parents have a small little lake house up there, and it's like my getaway. It's very secluded, and I can write and I can go jump in the water, but it's 45 minutes from Mackinac City and Mackinac Island. And there's a very famous hotel on Mackinac Island called the Grand Hotel. And I've been in love with that hotel since the movie Somewhere in Time. And it starred, I almost said Keanu Reeves. It starred Christopher Reeves, Superman, and Jane Seymour, who played Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman, and some other roles. And it was a time travel romance that was, I think, in 1984 is when it came out. And that they filmed it there. There's plaques along the walkways from where that thing was. They've kept certain parts of that hotel in the same condition, same carpets, same, stuff on the walls since then. And people go there annually just to be part of that hotel and to relive the memories there. And things like that are like, they're like set in time because there was something that special happened there, and they want to hold on to that as long as they can. And I love that. I love old architecture or old buildings or old places that it was special and it's always going to be special, and they don't feel the need to make it modern and stuff like that. And that could be anything. Hell, I get sentimental when I see an old Pizza Hut. We literally drove by a Pizza Hut, and on the sign it said Pizza Hut Classic, and it was the old red building
with the red cups.
Yes, with the red cups. And I mean, their whole thing was Pizza Hut the way you remember it, not this bullshit like slate architecture that is meant to be easily replaceable if they move out and some other, vape shop wants to move in. It's like, this is the Pizza Hut you remember. So I love that. Maybe that's more of a romantic thing for me, but I love old things and holding on to something special for sure.
Yeah. And even if you don't have like deep sea, like you don't have that emotional attachment, I think like older spaces, like you can feel it. You can feel like the memories. And I know you don't believe in that at all, but I think like there is like something you can,
Do you believe in ghosts? Spirits, ghosts?
I was raised in the church. I'm not an atheist now. My mom likes to say that I am. But I'm looking it up here. It's in Council Bluffs. But I mean, if you're heavily religious, then you believe in spirits and demons and all that. And so back then I used to believe that ghosts were just like a part of that. And I don't know. I get excited about that kind of stuff, and I like to think that there's someone watching over you, or there's you have connections to things. Like my dad died freak accident a few years ago. He was very healthy. He did RAGBRAI across Iowa every year, which is like biking across Iowa in a week, and he just crazy healthy, crazy outgoing guy, and he slipped in the shower at a hotel and got a brain bleed and died. And it was shocking and not expected at all. And I have dreams about him that are like very vivid, and they're not memories, they're like full conversations. And I feel the romantic part of me, the spiritual part of me wants to believe that that's some type of connection to another realm or something like that. And I have had experience in the past that I wouldn't say this was for sure a ghost, but I could have felt like there was something there, and I've never watched Ghost Hunters, and I don't really go down that path, even though I have a story that I have in mind for that. But I don't know that I do, but I would like to believe that that's there because I just find that intriguing.
So this one here does not believe in ghosts.
No.
I believe in ghosts. But she believes in like demons.
Yeah, I definitely believe in demons.
But I always find it funny that you believe in like these objects or places that can hold
I think it's like
whatever, right?
Yeah,
like but you're like, but no, not residual spiritual energy.
Yeah, like I mean it just but I'm not creeped out by cemeteries. Like I don't think cemeteries are inherently like creepy at all. I think they're great. I'm gonna sign us up for the cemetery tour here this fall. And I find that stuff it's more like old buildings or like old places. Like it's just like there's a lot of energy, like people who have lived there and like resided there. And
those
so I think there's
so the
I don't think it's
died
ghosts.
There.
But I do think a lot of ghosts are just probably like when people think it's a ghost, it's probably demons, and you should not interact with them because it's just like a vampire. A demon is just like a vampire. You don't want to invite that into your life.
Yeah, there's a cemetery in Council Bluffs with the Black Angel, which is a big statue in the middle of the cemetery that's haunted, and I remember growing up with that. But yeah, I love old buildings and the energy, and I like to think that there's things connected to it other than spiders. I fucking hate spiders. But yeah, there's a theater in Grand Island called the Grand Theater, and it has been on several like ghost hunter podcasts and things, and a lot of people think that place is haunted. And I have a story called The Haunting of the Grand that I have been slowly working on for years that I'd like to do. So I'm intrigued by that. I don't know that I believe it, but I don't know that I believe a lot of things. One can hope that there are strange things out there that exist. So yeah,
like birds.
like
birds, yeah.
maybe they do exist.
Yeah.
Well, before you try and shut it down, I do.
No, I was going to tell Stacy.
Oh,
Stacy,
okay.
I don't know how much you've been chiming in here for this, but I'll drop this book off here for you because I think you would really enjoy this.
How about you let me finish it?
Okay. Oh, okay. Well, I suppose you can read it after this one, after Rob reads it, I suppose.
I have
Do you mind if I do a quick pitch of the other one since you grabbed the very first?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that book is the graphic novel adaptation of the first book in a trilogy. It's called The Fierce Saga. It's all done. The quick pitch of that is Riley Harper. She's an FBI agent. Her partner goes missing. And the more she looks, the more monsters and assassins and craziness come after her. And I told you guys I grew up on X-Files and then later on Fringe. And that's definitely my ode to those stories. So that's my sci-fi trilogy. My next book was The Halcyon Garden, which is a fantasy novel, one and done fantasy novel. I actually wrote it for my girlfriend in high school. It was a terrible book, but a great story. It was so terrible. I wrote it. This is how old I am. I wrote it. I saved it on floppy disks, and then I lost it, and I had to rewrite it because the damn floppy disks, they weren't reliable.
I still have a floppy disk.
Yeah, I rewrote it in Korea and then published it. And I went through the early days of indie publishing. There was a place called Author Space that you could pay them to basically do what Amazon does now. And so I saved up all my money as a young teenager in the military and gave them a bunch of money. And all they did was format a book, give me the shittiest cover possible, and then just put it in the, you can order this, distribution for any place. And so I rewrote that on its 15-year anniversary, and now it's called The Halcyon Garden, and I love that book, and it's a fun book, and I can be proud of it. And then that new book with all the blood splatter is called Vivid, and it's my first horror book, and it's about a black and white world where a serial killer discovers the more people he kills, the more colors he sees. And he sees it in the blood of his victims. So he kills one person, you see red. You kill the next person, you see blue. And, I grew up on things like The Giver and Pleasantville, and a movie that's near and dear to my heart, It's a Wonderful Life. I loved the black and white and color versions of that film. And, and then later on in life, things like Sin City, I love playing with black and white and color. And it was really hard to write that in prose form. I wanted to do a comic book version, but I can't draw to save my life. So maybe down the road. But that book was really fun to write. And a lot of it is based at the Grand Hotel and up in Northern Michigan. And so it's finally done. And that's what I've been pushing. Hence the bloody tablecloth that you saw. So. Yep.
Fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to put another plug in for the QR code just in case you weren't here for the initial pitch, but go ahead and scan that. It takes you to website where you can learn and see all the things that have been discussed here. So
Yes.
buy some books or
see some great photography of you at cool old places on Instagram. All the stuff.
I try. That's the only social media site I use. I should probably push myself harder out there, but that's all I use. But yeah, the website, you could buy my books on Amazon. If you buy it in person, it's always cheaper. If you buy it on the website, I ship it to you signed, and then you can have my address and stalk me. So
if we have your address, you're getting out of the Christmas card list. So just so you know.
It's like there's another book coming our way in the near future, because that's how you get Sarah to buy something. Is you just like, hey, my return address will be on there, and she'll be like, oh, I want to send you a Christmas card. Yep. So let me just go ahead and buy your product.
There you go.
120 out last year. It was obnoxious.
Yeah, nice. Because you publicly just broadcast on the internet, hey, if you give me your address, I'll send you a Christmas card.
I said an address. I didn't say your address.
No, you said an address. It didn't have to be their address. It'd be like their mom's address.
I don't want people to feel like I'm being creepy trying to figure out where they live. Like, whatever.
I got room on the fridge. Send it. It's a dying art, so I have room on the fridge. Let's go.
You'll regret that. I don't know. I feel like ours this last year was
pretty good.
A work of
They're
art.
not
they're not your traditional.
Like you're not going to see a normal ass picture of us like dressed in matching sweaters, like with the dog next to a tree. It's going to be something where you're like, did I just see that? Like, what is that?
Having met you in this format, that would feel weird, though. I feel like so. I'd be like, "What is this?" Like, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh goodness, are you gonna pop these the Christmas cards?
I was gonna see if I could find it. Real quick.
Oh yeah,
just like
just give a preview here. Like,
do it.
Oh God, this was last year's. I'm still not really sure about it.
Yes.
So
I dig it.
There were 100 and some odd people that received Christmas cards of me pantless. So, and many of them ended up on fridges, and I'm like, you know what? Oh. That's something I'm proud of.
The one before, what's the one? Well, the one before that. I'm just gonna
go. Your dog is just committed. I love it.
Oh yeah, this was. I wasn't happy with this one at all. I never like any of these.
You just want me to go through these, and you want me to show our Christmas cards just for the fun of it here?
We'll show one more, and then we'll wrap it here.
Is that why you ask for addresses? Because you don't like them, and you just want to get them out of the house?
I mean, that's part of it. Yeah, this one, I'm just.
I thought this one was good.
What is happening?
I liked it. I don't know. Mm-hmm. It's my weird mind. These are all just a product of my weird mind. This is the one I'm indifferent about. It's all right.
Yes.
It didn't come out the way I wanted it to. This is my favorite, though. This is my
favorite. I like it. The facial expressions. I dig it.
Yeah.
Nice. I would put that on my fridge.
And this was the first one that started it all. And so
my hair gets it changes significantly.
Anyway.
Beautiful.
So I was going to ask you real quick, because you seem to enjoy movies and this person has not seen a lot of movies. Do you have two movie recommendations, one old, one new, that you think everybody should watch? Yes.
I've been doing this with my girlfriend too. She hasn't seen a lot of movies, so it's been fun. One old movie, like is 90s, 80s old? Okay.
Sure. Whatever you deem old.
So Meet Joe Black is among my most beloved movies ever. It's based on a 1920s story called Death Takes a Holiday. It stars young Brad Pitt and Anthony Hopkins. It's a romance kind of movie with a sci-fi drama twist, and at the time it was the most expensive movie ever made. Wow. And this was before CGI and all that stuff, and it's basically about without spoiling anything, it's about Anthony Hopkins is just some rich tech guy, and he gets visited by Death himself, and Death says, "Hey, you're about to die, but I would like to live among the living and keep me entertained, and you stay alive." And it's interesting. I love that movie, and it's a romance somehow. So again, it's just like the genre build, a romance movie starring Death. So I love that. And then a new movie. If you haven't seen Obsession, I don't want to be like everybody else, but Obsession is so damn good. I've been following Curry Baker and the other guy, Tomlinson, I believe is his name. They do this YouTube channel called It's a Bad Idea, and they're skits. They're like Jordan Peele type skits. Key and Peele type skits on YouTube, and they're just funny and raunchy and stupid, and like they cut off at the exact same right point, but they've been randomly sprinkling in these like short films that are like kind of creepy. And then a year or two ago, they dropped a full feature film for free on YouTube called Milk and Cereal, but cereal like serial killer. And it was really good. It was creepy, and everybody's like, "Wow, you dropped this for free on YouTube?" And then there was a bidding war for their first feature theatrical film.
Wow.
And they took it to TIFF, and Focus Features bought it, and it came out this year, and it's now the most profitable film that Focus Features has ever put out.
Okay.
Ever. Like not just this year, but ever. And it was made for like $750,000, and it's made hundreds of millions. So it's great, and it's really trippy, and it's a horror film by a couple of YouTube comedians, and I love it. As an indie creator, I love seeing somebody break the mold and do something like that, and really just get awarded for it. So I love it.
Okay. I've seen Meet Joe Black, and Obsession is on the list already to watch. So,
But I've seen
Okay.
neither,
but you've
So-
I know you've seen neither.
so
So,
we're good. We're
Yeah.
good. No,
Okay.
thank you for
Yeah.
the recommendations.
yeah.
So Rob has put in we got the QR code still up there,
Yep.
but once again, where can people find you, follow you, stay up to date with what you're doing?
Yeah, fiercelit.com or fierceliterature.com. That's my website. That's another thing for creators. Don't always click auto renew on your website. My first website was joshuadhowell.com, and then some asshole bought it when I didn't renew it and tried to hold it for ransom, and I'm like, nah. So Fierce Literature, that's my imprint. That's always been my imprint because of the Fierce or Fading was the first book. So fiercelit.com or fierce.lit is my Instagram. And I try to put where I'm going, and I try to get out there. So if I'm at a Comic-Con near you, reach out. I'd love to say hey. And that's my favorite part of Comic-Cons is just meeting people. You don't have to buy something if you come up to the booth. I just get bored standing there. So come up and talk to me and maybe buy a book or just shake my hand and be cool, So, yeah.
You never know. You might end up on a.
Yeah, you might end up topless on a podcast just from,
Right.
you
There
never
you go.
Stranger things have happened.
Highlight of my week. I love it.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. Everybody, we do not have a guest for next week because we're going to be at BotCon. And so next Tuesday, we're just going to talk about our experience at BotCon. So we will talk to you all then. So see you all next Tuesday.
And tell your mom I said hi.
Bye.